Okay, a very good morning, everyone. So nice to have you all here. I hope you're all excited to be here today, also. Right, this morning we have a session that we have to complete. So, before we begin, I would like you to take out your phones and to please scan the QR code, and then you can enter your responses, and you will have 10 minutes to complete answering the questions. So I will then just remind you in 8 minutes time, when it's 2 minutes left, I will just remind you that time is almost up. Okay? Alright, thank you. have another 2 minutes to complete the pre-test questions. Okay, time is up. Thank you everyone for doing that. Next up, it's the fun part. So we have an icebreaker, okay? I'm just going to pass you out these handouts. Okay, please refer to the handouts for your ice-breaking activity. And you will have 10 minutes to prepare as a team, and then you will be given time to present it as a team as well. So just run through the handout, and then you can come up and do your ice-breaking activity.
So we have to make a name for our team.
Yes, make the name for your team as well as a
Cheer.
cheer. Yes. All right.
What's funny? We not funny, something that's nice. Funny words. Huh? So yeah. So what is our cheer? What cheer is our team, right? Okay, it's like that. Who are we? We are the so that rojak. Who are we? Wonderful. Other than yes, we are not strong like our wonderful and our together we are together we are wonderful. Bisa nggak? Who are we? Wonderful. Other than yes, we are. Let me think. Oh, you busy. Who are we? We are just we are wonderful. Strong. We are strong. I say united. You say unstoppable. Wonderful. Okay, we are ready. Practice. Already. Yes. Who are we? Michelle, Sri. We are the Wonder Girls. Strong. United. Wonder Girls. Woohoo! And who it is? Woohoo! We can stand and do it free.
Okay, are you all ready to present your cheer?
Yes.
Yes? Okay. Come to the front.
Okay. Let's go. Okay. Ready, girls?
Yeah.
Who are we?
Priya,
Michelle, Sri. We are the Wonder Girls.
strong.
United. Wonder Girls. Woohoo!
Yay! Yay to the Wonder Girls. That's very good. Okay, excellent. Good job, everyone. Okay. How do you feel now? Are you all excited to begin? Yes? Okay. Right. So once again, good morning, everyone. So my name is Kavita Berlin. All right. So I will be presenting the session today. So you can see, as in the title over there, it's elevating workplace communication for results. Okay. Now, what do you think is the most important tool a teacher uses every day? Talking, okay, yes, to speak. What other things do you think a teacher needs is very important for teachers? You cannot do without it. Pardon? Creativity, yes, good. Creativity, communication, speaking, some more. You all do lesson plans also, right?
Yeah.
Lesson plans as teachers is very important, right? Okay. So these are some of the things that is very important. So like Michelle said, speaking and communicating is very important, right? Do you all agree? Yes, it's very important. So as teachers, communication is at the heart of everything we do. So we communicate with children, parents, and we communicate with each other, right, as colleagues. Okay. So the quality of our communication often determines the quality of our relationships. okay, how good our relationship is, okay, and ultimately the success of our work. If we can communicate well, hopefully you will work well together and everything in your working environment is good. All right. So when communication is effective, the children feel safe, correct? Children feel safe, they are understood, correct? Motivated to learn. Do you feel that? So when you communicate something to the child as well, when they understand, you feel motivated because they're able to do what you've instructed them, correct? Okay? And also your colleagues, teachers, we as teachers, right? We communicate as well and we try and make the environment a positive environment. Okay? Right. So communication is really, if you see, it says that for results, communicating for results. So we want better results, right? We don't want really bad results that we are unhappy with our working environment and stuff like that. So we want it to be positive. So the theme of this training, as you can see again, is elevating workplace communication for results. The goal is not just to exchange information, it is to create a positive environment, positive outcomes. So for teachers, these results may include better teamwork. So when you communicate well, you can work better as a team. And then you make stronger relationships with each other and also with parents, yeah, with also your students. So also there's improved classroom management. Okay, we know how to manage well our classroom, and yeah, overall there will be a more positive and supportive school culture. Right, we help each other. So so throughout this training, we will explore practical ways to strengthen these communication skills. How to make our communication skills better than already is. We will look at how trust is built, how active listening improves relationships, how misunderstandings can be avoided, and how positive communication can lead to success in both our professional and personal lives. So as you learn this, it's not only in your working environment, it could be also improving in your home environment and other relationships as well. Alright? So as we begin, I encourage each one of you to reflect on your own communication style. So ask yourself, what am I already doing well? What can I improve? Okay, these two questions. And then remember, every conversation is an opportunity to build relationships, inspire others, especially teaching children, right? We need to inspire them, I think, right? I feel, and make a difference. So with that in mind, we will look at our course objectives next. Okay, the course objectives and what we hope to achieve during this session. So we begin first with the introduction. So you can read over here, it says introduction, triggering workplace results begin with effective communication that connects everyone with a common mission. Recognizing and addressing the potential concerns can help reduce unwarranted conflicts. So conflicts then become a big problem in our working environment if we cannot communicate well, right? So conflicts, we want to avoid conflicts because then we will have a very bad environment to be working in, right? Right. So a stitch in time saves nine. So a stitch in time saves nine. So when the matter is small, maybe if we can resolve it at that instant, then we won't have a bigger problem to solve later. Okay, so that is what it means. So when you communicate, if there's a problem, you're not communicating well, then or something has been misunderstood, then you want to clear that before you can move on. All right? Is that clear so far? Okay. So again, at the course objectives. Now that we understand the importance of effective workplace communication, let's look at what we aim to achieve during this session. So by the end of today's training, participants, all of you will be able to accomplish three key objectives. So the first objective is to identify communication concerns. In every workplace, including schools, where we are, communication challenges can arise, right? Not any workplace is like so great, right? There will be, of course, some kind of problems. So these may include misunderstanding, unclear instruction, assumptions, and poor listening or ineffective feedback. So before we can improve communication, we must first recognize the areas that need attention. Okay? So if there's anything, so immediately you need to try and resolve it. And the second one is to illustrate tools and techniques that can improve communication. So throughout this session, we will explore practical strategies such as active listening, empathy, clear messaging, positive body language, and effective feedback. These are simple yet powerful tools that can help us communicate more effectively with colleagues, parents, and students. And finally, the third objective is to develop a lifestyle action plan. Learning new skills is important, but applying them consistently is what creates lasting change. We want participants to leave this training with specific actions they can practice daily. So when you leave this training, hopefully you have already learned something and you can put it into practice. So small improvements in our communication habits can lead to stronger relationships, better teamwork, and a more positive working environment. So the target, the picture of the target, right, shown on the slide, reminds us that communication has a purpose. Okay, our goal is not simply to talk more, not only to talk more, but to communicate in ways that help us achieve meaningful results. So as we move through the session, I encourage you to think about how each concept can be applied in your own school and classroom environment. Okay, how this communication, effective communication, can be applied in your own school and classroom. So with these objectives in mind, let's begin our first module. Sorry. Okay, the course content. So we're up to course content. So now that we have looked at our objectives, the three objectives just now, let's take a brief overview of the journey we will be taking together throughout this course. So this training is divided into 4 modules, and each module builds upon the previous one. Okay, so we've already looked at our objectives. Let's take a brief overview of the journey we will be taking together throughout this course. The training is divided into 4 modules, and each module builds upon the previous one. Think of it as constructing a strong building. Okay, when you build a building, you need to make it very strong. So each level provides the foundation for the next. So module 1 is building trust. Module 1 is building trust. We begin with building trust because trust is the foundation of all successful communication. As teachers, we work closely with students, parents, and other teachers, our colleagues, and the outside. Okay. Without trust, even the best ideas and intentions may not be well received. So in this module, we will explore how honesty, empathy, clarity, and good manners help create an environment where people feel respected, valued, and willing to work together. And then for module 2, we will talk about listening attentively. So once trust is established, the next step is learning how to listen effectively. Many people believe communication is about speaking well, but in reality, communication is equally about listening well. You agree? Have to listen well also, right? So in this module, we will learn how to listen with attention, understand others' perspective, and respond appropriately. So effective listening reduces misunderstanding, improves teamwork, and helps build stronger relationships within the workplace. And then module 3 is avoiding pitfalls. So even with good intentions, communication. Sorry. So even the module three avoiding pitfalls. So even with good intentions, communication can sometimes go wrong. Misunderstanding and assumptions, gossip, unclear messages, and emotional reactions can create barriers to effective communication. So in this module, in avoiding pitfalls, we will identify common communication pitfalls and learn practical strategies to avoid them. So, by recognizing these challenges early, we can prevent small issues from becoming larger conflicts. And finally, module 4 is achieving success. Finally, we bring everything together in the module Achieving Success. Success in communication is not about perfection, it is about consistently applying the skills we have learned. When we build trust, listen attentively, and avoid communication pitfalls, we create stronger relationships, more effective teamwork, and better outcomes for everyone. So, in a school setting, this ultimately benefits our students who are at the center of everything we do. And as we progress through these modules, I encourage you to reflect on your own experiences and think about how these concepts can be applied in your daily interaction with students, parents, and colleagues. Okay, so we'll begin with module 1. So, module 1. Before we talk about communication skills, we must first talk about trust. Think about the people you most trust in your life. Who are those people that you really trust in your life? Chances are these people are honest, reliable, respectful, and genuinely care about others. So the same applies in the workplace, in our school environment. As teachers, trust is the foundation of our relationships with students, parents, colleagues, and school leaders. When trust is present, people feel comfortable sharing ideas, asking questions, and working together. When trust is absent, so when you don't have trust among yourselves, there can be misunderstandings, doubts, and conflicts can rise easily. All right. So building trust does not happen overnight. It is built through small, consistent actions and positive interactions every day. We will explore 4 key ways to build trust. So, first one being honest, showing empathy, ensuring clarity and minding our manners. So, we begin with our next. So, building trust. So let's take a look at the four key elements that help us build trust in the workplace and in our school community. These are being honest, showing empathy, ensuring clarity, and minding manners. Okay? Think of these four elements as the pillars supporting a strong bridge. So if one pillar is weak, if any one of these pillars is weak, then then the bridge becomes unstable. All right. So similarly, trust grows when all four elements are practiced consistently.
Miss Kavita, just want to ask, what is ensuring clarity?
Clarity comes from the word clear, right? So everything, make sure that everything that you're communicating is clear, that you're right to the point. Don't go around the bush and stuff like that. Just make clarity is to make it clear. Okay, make something clear. So being honest, to go to the next first one. The first pillar is honesty. Honesty means being truthful, okay, transparent and accountable for all our actions. As teachers, this includes admitting mistakes, giving accurate information, and following through on our commitments. For example, if we make an error, if we make a mistake in a report or forget to complete a task, acknowledging it honestly often earns more respect than trying to hide it. Okay, so instead of hiding it, you can admit it. Then I think it's a better thing to do than keeping it quiet and then everything goes all over the place. Okay, right. So, why do you think honesty is important in building trust among colleagues and parents? Why do you think honesty is important to build trust?
I think when we are being honest towards each other, right? So it shows who we are. They can see us and we understand them, and we understand them. They understand us. If we as teachers also we don't be honest, let's say about it's about their child. So your child is okay, but we say it's not okay. So and then when they go and do a second opinion, the child is okay. Then why are we saying this? So being honest is being honest is good.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, thank you for that, Michelle. All right, so the second one is showing empathy. The second pillar is empathy. So, empathy means putting ourselves in another person's shoe, all right? And trying to understand their feelings and perspectives. So in schools, we interact with people from different backgrounds and experiences. A stressed parent, an overwhelmed colleague, or a struggling child may need understanding more than judgment. I think I'm guilty of this also. So when people feel understood, they are more willing to cooperate and communicate openly. Do you agree with that? Yeah, so when they feel they are understood, you understand how they are feeling, what is their situation, then we are able to communicate openly and uh, allow people to also trust us, I think, right? Okay, and the next one, the third pillar is clarity. So many workplace conflicts happen not because people disagree, but because messages are unclear. As educators, we must communicate instructions, expectations, and information clearly. This means using simple language, avoiding assumptions, and checking for understanding. For example, when assigning tasks to colleagues or giving instructions to students, we should ensure everyone understands what is expected. So, have you ever experienced misunderstanding because instructions were unclear, agreed or not agreed? Do you think that's right? That when you there's always a misunderstanding when you don't give your instruction clearly, isn't it? As teachers, yeah. So I think to make it to make sure that it's clear that what we're trying to say, it should be quite simple as well. And finally, minding manners. So the final pillar is manners. Good manners include showing respect, using a polite tone, listening when others speak, and being considerate of people's feelings. Simple words such as please, thank you, and excuse me can go a long way in creating positive relationships. Remember, people may forget what we said, but they often remember how we made them feel, right? This is a very famous saying also. So people forget whatever we said, but they often remember how we made them feel. Okay, so so just to sum up everything on building trust, when we practice honesty, empathy, clarity, and good manners consistently, we create an environment where trust can grow naturally. Trust is not built in a single conversation or meeting. It is built through many small actions repeated over time. As we continue through this model, keep reflecting on these four pillars and ask yourself which one is my strength and which one I can improve. So as we go through, you need to go through in your own minds which one is your strength, which one are you good at, and which one you feel you're not so good at, and then how you can improve. Okay. Let's now explore the first pillar in greater detail, being honest. So, being honest. Now, let us look at the first pillar again, okay? Being honest. It sounds so simple, right? Being honest. Honest, we know, is that when you are saying everything truthfully, right? So, when we hear the word honesty, we often think about simply telling the truth, right? So, but in the workplace, especially in education, honesty goes beyond words. It is reflected in our actions, attitudes, and daily interactions. This slide, this slide highlights four ways we can demonstrate honesty. So, four ways we can demonstrate honesty: displaying care, showing respect, relating sincerely, being accountable. Okay, so let's talk on the first one, displaying care. Honesty begins with showing genuine care for others. As teachers, people can usually tell whether our concern is sincere or just routine. Displaying care means taking interest in the well being of our students, supporting our colleagues, and being present when someone needs help. For example, asking a colleague, are you okay? Can I help with anything? May seem small but shows authentic concern. So the second one, showing respect. Honesty and respect go hand in hand. Respect means valuing others regardless of age, role, experience, or opinions. In schools, respect is shown through listening attentively, showing appropriate language, and treating everyone fairly. When people feel respected, communication becomes more open and trust develops naturally. So just a question over here. What are some simple ways teachers show respect to one another? What are just one small way teachers show respect to one another every day?
Greet each other.
Yes, very good. You can greet each other, right? So we come in, naturally we already say good morning, teacher, good morning, everyone, right? Yeah, good answer. Well done, Priya. And then relating sincerely, the third one. Relating sincerely means being genuine and authentic. People connect more easily with someone who is real rather than someone who only says what others want to hear. So, as educators, this could mean giving constructive feedback kindly, admitting when we do not know something, or acknowledging challenges honestly. Sincerity strengthens relationship because people feel safe communicating openly. And finally, being accountable. The final part of honesty is accountability. So, accountability means taking responsibility for our actions, decisions, and commitments. For example, if we miss a deadline or make a mistake, being accountable means acknowledging it and finding a solution instead of placing blame on someone else, okay, or somewhere else. Owning our actions actually builds more trust, not less. Not less. So, as a wrap up on this one, so being honest is not being about being perfect. It's not about being perfect. It's about consistently showing care, respect, sincerity, and accountability. So when teachers model honesty, children see us. We not only build stronger teams with colleagues, we also become role models for the children who learn from us every day. Agree? Okay. So we move on. Okay. Showing empathy. Let us look. This is the second pillar, right? So empathy is one of the most powerful communication skills a teacher can develop. It means more than being kind. It means making an effort to understand how another person is feeling and responding in a way that shows care and respect. In schools, every person we meet may be carrying something we cannot see. A child struggling emotionally, a parent under stress, or a colleague balancing many responsibilities. So, empathy helps us create stronger and healthier relationships. This slide highlights four ways to show empathy. Understanding feelings. So the first step is understanding feelings. Empathy begins with listening and recognizing emotions, not just focusing on words. For example, when a child says, I don't want to do my work, perhaps the issue is not laziness but frustration or lack of confidence. Similarly, when a colleague seems quiet or withdrawn, there may be challenges happening behind the scenes, right? Yes. Okay, so we cannot sort of be judgmental, so we need to empathize with the situation, empathize with the person. The next one is responding caringly. Once we understand feelings, we respond with care. Responding caringly does not mean agreeing with everything, it means responding respectfully and thoughtfully. So, simple responses such as, I understand your concern. Thank you for sharing that. Let's work through this together can make people feel supported. As teachers, our words often stay with people longer than we realize. And finally, the next one is reviewing non-verbal cues. Communication is not only verbal, it's not things that you only say. Sometimes people communicate more through body language than through words, right? So we notice people's facial expression, how somebody looks, eye contact, tone of voice, the posture. Okay, so for example, a student saying, I'm okay, while avoiding eye contact, while not looking at you into your eyes, may actually need support. That means there's some problem happening there. Okay. So being observant allows us to respond more appropriately. And the last one on showing empathy, avoiding judgment. The final part of empathy is avoiding judgment. Often we form conclusions, we come up with our own conclusions before fully understanding a situation. Instead of asking why are they behaving like this, try asking what might they be experiencing, what is going through with them. Okay, so empathy creates space for understanding before reacting. Alright, so we move on. Ensuring clarity. So the third pillar is ensuring clarity. Have you ever experienced a situation where you thought your instructions were very clear, but the outcome was completely different from what you expected? Many times, right? We've been through this one. So many communication issues happen not because people are unwilling to cooperate, but because messages are unclear. So as teachers, clarity is especially important because every day we communicate with students, colleagues, parents, and school management. So clear communication saves time, reduces confusion, and helps everyone move towards the same goal. So let's look at the first one on ensuring clarity, avoiding jargon. So the first point is avoiding jargon. Jargon refers to words or terms that may not be understood by everyone. There's so many new terms that I even don't know, okay? So as educators, because this modern world, we have so many different terms, okay? So as educators, we must use professional terms or if every if or short words that others may not fully understand. For example, when speaking with parents, instead of using educational terminology, explain in simple and understandable language. So clear communication is not about sounding impressive, it is about making sure others understand. Being concise. So this one just now, Michelle already asked about this. What is being concise? So being concise means keeping our message simple and focused and clear. Sometimes we give too much of information at once and people lose the main point. Okay, the main point that's supposed to be there is all lost in translation. Without giving instructions to children or discussing plans with colleagues, ask yourself what is the key message, what action is needed. Short and clear communication often works best. So, getting feedback. Communication is complete only when understanding happens. Okay, so getting feedback helps us know whether our message was understood correctly. And finally, confirming content. Do not assume everyone understands the same message. Okay, confirmation could include how you're gonna make sure that person has understood. You're gonna repeat the key points. Okay, repeat the key points, summarize the actions, sending follow-up messages. So if you are communicating while emails or whatever, make sure you are sending follow-up messages, and then checking timelines and expectations. So to wrap up, ensuring clarity means making communication easy to understand, focused, and confirmed. When we avoid jargon, stay concise, invite feedback, and confirm understanding. Communication becomes more effective and trust becomes stronger. So very quickly now on minding manners. So when we hear the word manners, we sometimes think of simple things like saying please and thank you, right? So what are the ways that we can mind our manners? So fostering positivity does not mean pretending everything is perfect, but it means choosing to communicate in a constructive and encouraging way. So, as teachers, people often look to us for energy and direction. So, the next one, using body language. Using body language is not only about words. Communication is not only about words, but it's facial expression, posture, eye contact, and tone communication. And the tone of your voice communicate messages too. All right, think about this. So a teacher may say, "I'm listening," but continue looking at the computer. What message does this send? Okay, so positive body language includes smiling appropriately, making eye contact, maintaining open posture. Okay, so those are some of the examples. So exchanging confidence. Confidence here means creating an environment where people feel safe, where people feel safe to speak, ask questions, and share ideas. So, as teachers and colleagues, we can build confidence by encouraging participation, acknowledging effort, speaking respectfully, and avoiding criticism and that embarrasses others. So, people feel confident to communicate. And finally, giving personal space. Everyone has different comfort levels and communication styles. So, giving personal space means respecting boundaries, allowing people time to express themselves, avoiding interrupting, and recognizing when someone may need a moment before responding. So, respecting personal space shows consideration and professionalism. So, to sum up, minding manners is not about following rules, it's about creating an environment where people feel respected, comfortable, and valued. So, as teachers, our manners become part of our example to children. So, so now we'll just have a short question and answer session. So, if you can answer, then you can just call out, alright? So it says list ways to show honesty. So what are the ways to show honesty?
Keeping promise,
Keeping promises, okay, that's three.
treating other people as fair and sincerity.
Very good, Sri. So treating others with respect and sincerity. Very good. Okay. What's this?
This
Okay. Right. Can you name the benefits of empathy?
helps reduce misunderstandings and conflicts.
Yes, very good, Michelle.
Makes people feel valued and respected.
Yes, very good. That's very important to make people feel respected and valued, right? Okay. So, um, share the importance of clarity. Why is clarity important in communicating?
I think it can help to prevent misunderstandings and confusion.
Yes, yes, true. Okay, very good. Thank you for that, Michelle. Right. Other than that, have you any questions to ask? Okay. So there's no questions. We'll move on to the next slide. So over here, in conclusion, communication is an essential tool for fostering relationships. We all agree on that, right? So when whatever we say makes a positive or negative um, effect on people, right? So conflicts can be eliminated with right tools and correct techniques. So hopefully all the ways just now that we've already gone through from building trust, uh, we can put that into practice in our working environment with our colleagues, the students, and also the parents. So remember, time and tide waits for no man. Okay. So just to let you know, these were some of the books that were used as a reference to get all the points for today's topic. Okay. So signs of effective communication and communication skills training and 21 days of effective communication. I'm sure you can get these books somehow, somewhere online or at the bookshops. Right? If you're interested, you can refer to these books as well. And I'm sure there's many other books in the market for you to refer to as well. Right. So this one is an assignment that you have to do, alright? So for the assignment, you can refer to the handouts just now that I passed to you. Refer to the handouts and you will have 30 minutes. 30 minutes. Go through the handouts and then after you complete the assignment, you can go off for your coffee break, alright?
The handouts we need to give back to
No, not really.
we just keep it, yeah, keep it with us.
Yeah, we just alright, so yeah, any questions before we go off for our coffee break? No questions. Okay, so I will see you after the coffee break. Enjoy your coffee break. Thank you. Hi, good morning, everyone. I hope you had a good coffee break. I hope you have enjoyed your coffee break and now you're all ready to go on to the next module. So before we continue to the second module, we'll just recap whatever we've done in the first module, okay? So, so I'm going to ask you some questions. There's no right or wrong answers. It's simply an opportunity for us to just reflect on and to share what we've already learned in the first module. Okay. So the first question. Okay, what is trust? So from your opinion, what do you think is trust?
Uh, Trust is like believing that someone is honest, reliable, respectful, and keeps their promises. So it's like the foundation of every healthy relationship.
Yes, good, Michelle, about that. Yeah. So definitely is the foundation of every healthy relationship. Why is trust important in communication?
Trust adds to communications, openly and honestly.
Yes. Okay. Good. Definitely. It uh, helps people communicate openly and honestly. So, can you name one way we can demonstrate honesty?
Tell the truth.
Okay. Anyone else? Tell the truth.
Be transparent.
Okay. Very
Keep,
good.
keep promise.
Yes. Keep promises. Okay. Very good. All right. So, what does empathy mean? Maybe you want to put it in your own way, in your own words also. What does empathy mean?
Listen carefully.
Listen carefully. Okay.
It's also like understanding other people's feelings
Yes.
and how they want to understand us and how we understand them, like mutual benefits.
Yes.
Something like that.
Yeah. Yes. So usually they say that empathy is like being in the other person's shoes, right? We try and know how they feel and all that stuff. So that's what empathy means. Empathy means understanding another person's feelings and seeing things from their perspective without judging them. Sometimes we also judge. We're very good at judging, right? So without judging is very important also. All right. How can we show empathy? So you already like mostly said it. So, but again, how to like show empathy maybe?
Avoid others avoid judging,
Yes. Okay.
be
Good.
patient,
Yes.
respond kindly.
Yes. Anyone?
Listen carefully. I think that's the main important thing in
Yeah.
empathy. To
Yes.
listen.
Correct. Yeah. And again, that word not without judging also, right? Listen carefully and without judging again. Yeah. Patient. We need to be patient as well. I think. Okay. Okay, let's look at the next question. So, why do you think clarity is important when communicating? Why whatever you communicate should be clear? So
I think when you give a proper clarification, uh, the other people will understand what we are saying and the message that we are projecting is correctly taken. So and also it helps to reduces misunderstandings and maybe some confusion.
yes, true, definitely. I think if we're not clear about something, I mean, it's also good to ask questions to make it more clear, and definitely we don't want any misunderstanding and confusions, right? In whatever we communicate. Very good, thank you. What are two ways to communicate clearly?
Ask for feedback,
Okay, ask for feedback. Very good.
confirm understanding.
Yes, definitely. Yes, good.
Also simple language.
Yeah,
It's simple. Some people they tend to tell all the big words, and we itself also don't understand all the big terms.
yes, that's right. So simple language, correct. Ask for feedback. Speak clearly. Okay, and confirm. I think also confirm that you've understood. So when you understand something, you nod your head, right? Or you say yes, I've understood. So if you you're saying, if you're nodding your head and also saying yes, you've understood, that means you've really understood. Okay, so why are good manners important in communication? Good manners.
Good manners shows respect, create positive relationships,
Yes,
and make others feel comfortable.
yes. Good manners show respect. Yes, very good, and makes other people comfortable with you, and also you feel comfortable with them, right? Okay, so good manners, yeah, very important. I feel. Yes. All right. Give one example of good manners during a conversation.
This one not we always tell our kids.
Yeah.
The five maybe
Yeah,
five
five
magic
magic
words. So
words,
we always
correct.
have please, thank you, you're welcome, excuse me,
Yes.
all this.
Yeah, very good. Yeah. So we have to teach the younger ones, and also since they watch us, also, so we have to also be good role models to them, right? Yeah, smile and be polite. So all these things are quite important. All right. Think about everything we've learned today. So the question is, what is one communication skill you will begin practicing this week? Okay, after you've learned all the stuff in module one, so what do you think you will? What is the one skill that you think you will begin practicing this week?
Be more patient.
Being more patient. Yeah, we can do a lot with that. Okay, be more patient,
Speaking more clearly.
speaking more clearly. Okay, good.
Showing empathy.
Showing empathy. Yes.
So maybe use kinder words. Now sometimes teachers also tend to like
Yeah, true. Because we're also human beings,
Yeah.
right? So we so it's a bit difficult. So we have to be really, patient, and use kind words. Yeah. Okay, so
excuse me, I won't take my pen for a while. Just carry on.
yeah, so all this is important. So I really hope that we can put one thing that we said into practice. So just now you said being more patient, using kinder words. So definitely these ones hopefully we can put it into practice every day dealing with kids. All right. So excellent. So today we've learned that trust is built through our everyday actions. It grows when we are honest, show empathy, communicate clearly, and treat others with respect and good manners. Go. So just try and remember this quote. Trust is built one conversation at a time. So, you know, as you converse with people, then people will tend to trust in you because you're being honest, you're being sincere, you're showing empathy, right? So all this is important, especially when uh, you're communicating with other people. So especially since we deal with parents, with children, with our colleagues, right? All right. So now we'll move on to module two. So you discover that one of the greatest way to build trust is by becoming a better listener. Communication is not only about speaking well, it is also about listening with our ears, our eyes, and also with our hearts. Okay? Alright, so we'll move on to our next. Right. So, welcome to module 2. I hope you all are okay to carry on to the next module where we will focus on one of the most important communication skills, listening attentively. Okay? Attentively, do you understand that word, right? Attentively, like attention, to be really focused on listening. So many people think communication is about speaking well. While speaking clearly is important, okay, communication is actually a two-way process. If no one listens, even the best message cannot be understood. Okay, so think about time when someone truly listened to you. How did you feel when you spoke to someone and you felt that they were really listening to you? They didn't have like their phones to distract them, or they didn't have something else to distract them. So how did it make you feel? All right. Most people say that they felt respected, and then they felt valued, felt understood and appreciated. So now you think about the opposite way. Okay, have you ever spoken to someone who kept checking their phone? Okay, kept checking their phone and interrupted you constantly, or looked around while you were talking? We've all experienced it, right? So with our colleagues, even with the kids also, I think we deal with that a lot. Okay, so it probably made you feel ignored or unimportant. So listening attentively is much more than simply hearing words. Hearing happens automatically, but listening is a choice. So hearing we will do, but then to listen attentively, that's another level of hearing. Okay, so it means paying attention not only to the words spoken but also to the person's emotions, body language, and intentions. So, in today's module, we will learn 4 simple steps that help us become better listeners. So, prepare yourselves to listen, give the speaker your full attention, offer encouragement throughout the conversation, reflect, validate, and respond appropriately. So these skills strengthen relationships in our workplace, families, schools, and communities. Okay, so we move on to the next one. So prepare to listen. So for listen attentively, the first one is prepare to listen. Good listening begins before anyone starts talking. So we first prepare ourselves mentally. We decide that for the next few minutes, our focus will be on understanding the other person rather than thinking about our own response. So this may sound simple, but it requires discipline. So the next one, give full attention. When someone speaks, they deserve our complete attention. That means putting aside distractions, maintaining eye contact, listening patiently, and allowing them to finish before responding. Giving someone our attention tells them you matter. Next one. To offer encouragement. So, listening is not passive. We encourage the speaker by smiling, nodding, saying short phrases like I understand or go on. These simple responses give confidence to continue speaking. And finally, for listening attentively, we have reflect and validate. Finally, good listeners reflect on what they heard before responding. Instead of immediately offering advice, they first confirm understanding. So simple statements such as, so what I hear you saying is, you start with that and you continue to sort of understand what that other person is talking. So you could say, so what I hear you saying is, or it sounds like that was difficult for you. These responses build trust and reduce misunderstandings. Okay, so next. So the second one again, prepare to listen. So before we can become good listeners, we first need to prepare ourselves to listen. Many people think listening begins when another person starts talking, but actually listening begins before the conversation even starts. So preparing to listen means putting ourselves in the right frame of mind so that the speaker feels heard, respected, and understood. As teachers, we often juggle many responsibilities. True? Yes. We do planning lessons, supervising children, answering parents and completing all our paperwork and stuff like that. So it is easy to become distracted. However, effective communication requires us to pause and be fully present. Today, let's look at four simple ways to prepare ourselves to listen. So, the first thing is eye contact. So, the first step is maintaining eye contact. Eye contact tells the speaker, I am paying attention to you. Imagine a parent comes to speak with you about their child. While they are talking, you continue typing on your laptop or looking at your phone. Even if you are listening, what message are you sending them, right? So most people would feel ignored or unimportant. On the other hand, if you stop what you're doing, smile, make comfortable eye contact, give your full attention, the parent immediately feels respected. So the same applies to children that we teach as well. Sometimes a child simply wants a teacher to look at them while they are speaking. That small act makes them feel valued. Remember, eye contact could or should feel natural and friendly, not like staring. Not like staring, but uh, yeah, but enough to show genuine interest. So, have you ever spoken to someone who never looked at you while you were talking? Have you had that experience, and how did it make you feel?
Stop talking.
Yeah, we stopped continuing the conversation. Yeah, you feel that you weren't didn't matter or something like that, right?
Upset.
Upset. Yeah, that's right. So it's very important that we uh, maintain the eye contact. Okay, and so go on to the second one. Limit distractions. So distractions come in many forms, right? So sometimes it's our phone, sometimes it's paperwork, sometimes it's other conversations. But one of the biggest distraction is our own thoughts. We may already be thinking about what we want to say next instead of listening. So as teachers, this can happen during busy school hours. A colleague may be explaining a classroom issue while we are already thinking about the next lesson. A parent may be sharing concerns while we're mentally preparing for home time. Whenever possible, put your phone away, pause your work, turn towards the speaker, give them your undivided attention. Those few minutes of focused listening can prevent many misunderstandings later. So we go on to the next one, which is focus your mind. The third step is focusing your mind, and listening is more than hearing words, it requires concentration. Instead of planning your response immediately, focus on understanding what the speaker is trying to communicate. Ask yourself, what is this person really trying to tell me? Sometimes people are asking for information. Sometimes they are asking for reassurance. Sometimes they simply want someone to listen. When we focus our mind, we hear both the words and the emotions behind them. Is that clear or not? Okay. So when we focus our minds, we hear both the words and the emotions behind them. Otherwise, we'll be blind to their emotions, so we're not paying attention. The next one, set an open, non judgmental mindset. This means listening without making assumptions or jumping to conclusions. Sometimes we hear only part of a story and immediately decide who is right or wrong. You've had that situation before, I think, many times, especially even with the kids, right? So, as educators, we must remain objective until we understand the whole situation. For example, if two children argue in class, it is easy to assume the louder child started the problem. Yeah, the louder child started the problem. But after listening carefully to both children, we may discover a completely different story. The same applies when communicating with colleagues and parents. So when we maintain eye contact, remove distractions, focus our minds, and listen without judging, we create an environment where students, parents, and colleagues feel respected and valued. Can we go on? Anything, any questions? So give your full attention. So when you're giving your full attention, we need to be focused. Okay, we need to focus on the individual that we're talking to, and then we have to avoid interruptions. So just now earlier we had interruptions such as your phone or your laptop that you're busy with. All right, so these kind of things need to be put away so that your full attention is on the person that is in front of you. Okay, and then to show understanding. Show understanding. So just now we already said when you show understanding, you are actually you're nodding, right? You're nodding. You're saying yes, I understand, or you ask questions like if you didn't get it clear, then you need to ask them questions to clarify what they have asked or what they're saying. All right, and then finally to validate even if you disagree. I don't know explain this one. So even when the person is communicating with you, and even if you disagree with something that they've said, you actually also sort of agree, but then you probably want to give them your own ideas or your own um, um, ideas to that problem. All right. Uh, so
Also, sometimes I think that when we listen to something, right, a conversation or something, explanation, and you think that it's not correct, for our mind, it's
Yeah.
not correct because
Yes.
maybe we have done it before or what. So maybe we can just be quiet.
Yeah.
We don't want to hurt their feelings as per what the in module one, right? And maybe when we after instead of in front of
Yeah,
everyone.
yeah, definitely. If you want to say anything, it's better to do it privately, right? Not in front of like if you're having so many people. Okay, so we go on to the next um, one, which is offer encouragement. So we've learned that good listening requires preparation and giving our full attention. However, effective listening doesn't end there, okay? The next important step is to offer encouragement. So when people feel discouraged, they are more willing to share their thoughts, concerns, and ideas openly. So encouragement builds confidence, strengthens relationships, and creates a safe environment where communication can flourish. So as teachers, our words have tremendous power. A few encouraging words can motivate a child to keep trying, reassure an anxious parent, or support a colleague through a difficult day. Can you maybe give some of the situations that you've gone through as well, where you needed to offer encouragement?
Maybe I can talk about one of my student in the 6 year class. Whereas he's a special child. I think he was here since 4, and then 5, and then 6. So when he was in 4 years old, he's like couldn't do it. He's running around here, running around there, and every one question will be, "That teacher, this teacher, that teacher." And we had to like give full attention to him, and then we have to say yes it is, yes it is. until we say no, Marcus, you can do it on your own. You can do it on your own. So you are able to I mean, we offer encouragement to him, and because he's also special needs, so we have to be more attentive, more caring, more patient as well. So now, as he's 6 years old, he's okay sometimes when he can do it on his own, especially the things that he loves to do, drawing and coloring. But sometimes also he needs some effort in Marcus, can do it on your own. You can. You can. Then only he's able to do it. But sometimes we not only have to say slowly, but we also have to use the firm voice.
Yes, definitely. Also, I think for him, if you, I think, write down his what he should do in steps,
Mm.
maybe that way will also help. I'm sure that's something to look into. Okay. So, as teachers, our words have tremendous power. A few encouraging words can motivate a child. Okay, so now we're going to explore four simple ways we can offer encouragement. So the first one is acknowledge feelings. The first step is acknowledging feelings, very important. So people don't always expect us to solve their problems immediately. Often they simply want someone to recognize how they feel. So, for example, if a parent says, I'm worried because my child doesn't seem happy at school. So instead of responding immediately with advice, we could first say, just hear this out. Okay, so you could first say, I understand why you're concerned. Thank you for sharing this with me. Okay, so we do have kids that come and the parents are a bit, since we have some new kids also in case you get some new kids, right? So it's all an adjustment period. Some kids take longer to adjust, some children take a short time to adjust. So it's a it's a true and real emotion that the parent is going through, right? So so I think to respond calmly with them, and not judge them, right? Your child is like that, right? So we also have ideas about the children, so we need to understand, sort of empathize with the parent as well. So you can say, I understand why you're concerned. Thank you for sharing this with me, and then look into the matter and then get back to them afterwards. Or with a colleague, you can say, I'm feeling overwhelmed with all the paperwork, too much of paperwork, too much of planning, right? So we might respond, we might reply. I can understand that it has been a busy period for all of us, right? So especially during certain times of the year where we are busier, right? And then of course, we feel sometimes stressed, and so we need to offer encouragement to each other as well. So acknowledging feelings show empathy and helps the speaker feel respected and understood. So you can say, yeah, the busy period, of course, it will be overcome of the busy period, but then during the busy period, we can get our colleagues to help us out, ask for help, ask for suggestions, right? Have you all had that feeling when it's like too much work, and then do you think that you can approach someone for advice or for someone to help you out?
I had during the first year of coaching.
Yeah,
It was like too much
yeah.
because it's earlier days, right?
Mm.
And newly started, you know what to do, and it's like,
Yeah, too many kids. Yeah, but I suppose now it's gotten better, I hope.
yeah.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so we continue. Okay, so the next one is affirm strengths and support. So the second way to encourage others is by affirming their strengths and support
Or efforts.
efforts, sorry. Strengths and efforts. Sorry, efforts. Everyone likes to know that their hard work is appreciated. True, everyone agrees, right? So, as teachers, we often praise children's achievements, but we should also encourage our colleagues and parents. So, instead of saying only good job, we do that a lot, right? Good
Yeah.
job, but it's you have to be more specific. All right. So, for example, I noticed how patiently you handle that child today. Okay, so which we don't usually say, right? So maybe that's what we should also one of the skills that we should be focusing on as the days go on. So yeah, I notice how patiently you handle that child. So and thank you for preparing the learning material so carefully. Yeah, some of the words we should encourage each other more. I think. Okay. I appreciate the effort you put into supporting your child's learning at home. So this one is probably for parents, right? So we can also offer uh, words to parents as well. Yeah. So specific praise is more meaningful because it recognizes genuine effort. Remember, encouragement focuses on progress, not perfection. So
I think we do that sometimes in the group with the parents, like when we ask them to do something or bring something, then we after that we say thank you. Your like example, the 6 years was doing the town thing, and they brought all the buildings. So and then we sent another message saying thank you very much for your hard work with the kids, and they loved it so much. Those kind of words really help them to say, oh,
yeah,
as a
some
parent.
parents really put in all the effort to help out, and yeah, so we should offer encouragement to them as well. Okay, so the next one, any questions so far? Okay, so the next point is offer perspective and hope. So sometimes people become discouraged because they only see the problem. As good communicators, we can help them see possibilities. For example, if a teacher says, I'm struggling to manage this class, so instead of saying, yes, they are difficult, okay, yes, they're difficult, we might respond, every class is different. Let's look at a few strategies that may help. Is that a way to offer perspective and hope to someone who's really struggling with class? That's a good way,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, I feel that's a good way. So, we look at a few strategies to look at how we can offer hope. Because sometimes I'm sure you're all frustrated in the class when the kids are not listening, right? So that's a good way of offering a few strategies or ideas to help them maintain the discipline in the class, right? So, so if a parent also worries that their child is learning slowly, we can reassure them by saying every child learns at a different pace. With consistent support, we can work together to help your child improve. Also, we've had many such problems with parents, right? Yeah, such situations. Um, so in actually, parents and teachers, it's important to work hand in hand. Sometimes we feel that over the years, the teachers have had to handle more, more situations when you think that parents should also be helping out when they're not helping out. So all these struggles that we're having. So it's very good to actually offer encouragement and also hope to each other as colleagues and also to parents. So offering hope doesn't mean giving false promises, okay? But it means helping people believe that challenges can be overcome, right? Um, so ways like when the child is also very weak, we also struggle, right? And we also can only advise the parents, but if they're not helping out, then it's like it's only a one-way thing, it's not no two-way. Yeah, no two ways to help. Only like we are helping, but the parents are not helping at home, then it becomes difficult, right? So, but it has to be a two-way process where both the parents and teachers are helping out, and we help each other.
This actually we can see in some of the kids also. When we had
Yes.
our two-way communication, we offer our perspective, we offer our what we can do for them, and then they also offer, okay, I can do this. So we can see the differences between child A and child B. So that really actually really works if it's really a two-way
Yes.
two-way communication. If it's only just us, or so it's quite
Yes. Okay. And so the last point for this. All right. So the last point for offer encouragement is provide tangible support. So encouragement becomes even more powerful when we offer practical support. What do you understand by practical support?
that means we are doing it, not just
It's like a
saying.
hands-on. Yeah. So sometimes encouragement isn't only about words. It's about asking also, how can I help? So practical support could include sharing teaching ideas with a colleague, helping another teacher prepare materials, arranging a meeting with parents, or simply spending a few extra minutes listening. Right? So yeah, this one is important, I think, as teachers, right? So we help. I mean, like, yeah, it's very important, I feel, right? So even small acts of kindness can make a big difference. People remember those who stood beside them during challenging times. So offering encouragement is one of the simplest way to strengthen communication and also to build trust. So when we acknowledge feelings, recognize people's efforts, offer hope, and provide practical support, we create a culture where people feel safe, respected, and motivated. So as educators, encouragement is part of our daily responsibility. You always need to encourage, right? Um, Every conversation is an opportunity to inspire confidence and make someone feel valued. Yeah, so this is super important as a teacher. And so we move on to the next slide on validate and respond. So this is the final skill in effective listening, validate and respond. So listening does not end when the speaker finishes talking. What we say next is equally important. So validation means letting the speaker know that we have heard them, understood them, and respect thoughts and feelings. So responding appropriately helps strengthen trust and keeps communication positive. So validation, again, I repeat, means letting the speaker know that we have heard them, understood them, and respect their thoughts and feelings. So as teachers, we practice this every day with our students, with our parents and colleagues. So let's look at 4 simple ways to validate and respond effectively. So the first one is to offer a positive remark. So start your response with something encouraging before moving into suggestions or solution. For example, if a parent shares concerns about their child's progress, instead of immediately discussing the child's weakness, you might say, "Thank you for bringing this to my attention. I appreciate how involved you are in your child's learning." So we've all been in this situation, right? So, you know, um, we know kids that are really weak, and then we struggle to help them at times also, right? So how are we going to help them, and how are we going to talk to the parents as well in a nice way? So we have to use kind words also to when we're communicating with them, so we're not giving like a so negative uh, uh, situation about their child, right? How we look at their child in negative way. So, or it could be when a colleague shares a new teaching idea, you could say, "That's a creative approach. I like how you're thinking about engaging the children." That's also another way of putting things in a nicer way. Okay. So, beginning with a positive remark creates a welcoming atmosphere and helps the other person feel appreciated. So, why do you think starting um, something positive makes conversation easier?
Positive. The iron positive make us happy. I don't know, that's what I think.
Yeah, we feel always, yeah, I suppose every time we need to focus on the positive first before we move on to the negative, then at least they don't feel so bad, oh my child can't do anything, right? So we say some of their positives and then we go on to the negatives, yeah. And also when we say the negatives, it has to be in a nice way, right? Okay. So the second point is communicate acceptance. Acceptance does not always mean agreement. It means respecting another person's thoughts, feelings, or experiences. For example, a parent may be upset about a classroom situation. So instead of saying, "You're overacting," we could respond, "I understand why you feel concerned and I'm glad you shared this with me." This simple response helps reduce defensiveness and encourages open communication. Yeah, I'm sure all of us have also been in this kind of situation. So, in school, we often deal with people from different backgrounds, right? Personalities and experiences. So, respecting these differences help build stronger relationships. Right. So, do you have any other like a situation that you know that um, that is related to this one? How we could, how we could have you had opportunities or things that you had to respond such things? I understand why you feel concerned, and I'm glad you shared it with me. Have you had like some similar situations? All of us as teachers, right? Okay. All right. So next one. shared share related experiences. So the third point is sharing a related experience. Sometimes sharing a brief personal or professional experience can reassure someone that they are not alone. For example, if a new teacher says, "I'm struggling with classroom management," you might reply, "I remember feeling the same way during my first day of teaching." So that's what Michelle said earlier as well. She was a bit overwhelmed at the beginning when she started teaching, right? So, what helped me was establishing clear routines and being consistent. Yeah, so routines are very important, okay? And then, so you give them a nice sort of, yeah, when you say like that, then what do you do, right? Notice that the experience is short and relevant. So this one, all of us have felt also. You are when you're new teachers, um, you know, you also always feel overwhelmed in your classes, right? So notice that the experience is short and relevant, and the goal is not to shift the attention to ourselves, but to encourage the other person by showing understanding and offering practical insight. Okay, and so finally, the next point to our validate and respond. So, after listening and validating, it is important to agree on the next steps. So, ask questions like, what can we do moving forward? How can I support you? Let's work together on a solution. So, for example, if a parent is concerned about their child's reading, you might say, let's monitor your child's progress over the next few weeks. I'll provide additional reading activities. Um, and in class, and perhaps you could spend 15 minutes reading together at home. So, you know, it's both ways. Both of the parties are actually helping out with the child's reading. And then we'll review the progress again next month, right? That's a good way as well, right? So, future actions show commitment and reassure the speaker that their concerns are being taken seriously. So, validating and responding effectively is the final piece of active listening. So, when we begin with positive remarks, communicate acceptance, share relevant experiences, and agree on future actions, we help people feel respected, understood, and supported. And so, these simple habits strengthen trust, reduce conflict, and encourage teamwork within the school community. Right. So, you want to share some of your problems in your class as well. You've got you've got all boys in your class, all mostly boys in your class. So how do you find it difficult handling the children?
Yes.
Trees, yeah, yeah. So you really need to have a routine and sort of maybe watch them how to get them to be motivated in class and listen to you and stuff like that. Yeah, with the old boys. So we need to find different ways of handling the discipline and all in class. Any questions before we move on? Everything was clear. If you could understand. Okay, so we can actually take some of this moving forward, right? We can use this in our classroom, with our students, with our colleagues as teachers, and also with the parents. Hopefully, this will help you, right, in future, right? Okay. Sure, no more questions? Okay. All right, so we're on the um, last bit of the session today. So finally, we'll go on to our question and answer sessions. Okay, I will go through these ones, but if you have any other questions, then you can also bring it up here as well. Again, if you think of other questions. Okay. So, can you list ways to show that you are listening?
No interruption.
Eye contact. To have eye contact, correct. This way is to show you are listening. To have eye contact. Focus. Mm. Listen is to show you are listening. Yes. Eye contact to focus. Good. Yes, not don't judge. Yes. Good. Okay. Any more? much. Focus.
Something about distractions. You have to limit or avoid distractions.
Distractions, yes.
Phones, by your side.
True. Yes. Not mostly is the gadgets, right?
Yeah.
That's always distracting us, and people feel like they're not valued enough because most of the time we're in front of our screens. So probably put those away first. Yes, very good. Okay. So the next one is main benefits of giving full attention. What are the benefits of giving your full attention?
You show that you understand what they are saying.
Yes. Listen what they're saying. Yes.
Focus.
Focus. When you're giving your full attention, you're focusing, right? So you're focusing on that person and whatever their problem is. Avoid interruption. So it's all like sort of all linked, right? Everything is linked. All the points.
And then it's like when you give full attention, it's agree to disagree or disagree to agree. So those things that we can word out instead of we are just listening and then suddenly there's something else and we say something else. It's like
Yes. Good. Okay. All right. Can you share the importance of validating and responding?
um, we are able to offer a positive remark.
Yes, positive remarks. Yes.
About planning for future.
Yes. Okay.
Able to share.
Yes, able to share experiences. Okay. Good. Any more doubts and stuff like that? Or any more questions or something that you want to clear about, something you want to share also is okay.
Also, meeting helps in understanding.
Pardon?
Meeting helps.
Meetings. You're meeting with.
Meetings with parents or meeting with teachers. It helps in sometimes we are shy. Teachers also get shy. We don't know how to talk directly or indirectly. So sometimes during meetings, that helps in saying what you want to say, and the other teachers can often help with arranging the words of saying like just now, teacher was saying about uh, the words that we say positive remarks first. So we had that one experience before where the new teacher said the not so nice ones first, and then it was going on and on. Then we interrupted and said, "Oh, your child is actually okay. With some help, with some right." So those kind of things, we can see the parents' face from being so happy suddenly. So it's like something that we offer help, not us, because teachers in the school is like one community, it's a family. So parents also is also our family.
Yes.
This kind of things now. So
Thank you. Thank you, Michelle, for sharing. Okay. Okay. Okay, no other things to share. What's your experiences of teaching the small ones. Teacher Priya, are you finding it? It's fun in a way, right? To teach them. Yeah, it's fun. I think that's good to be teaching. Yeah. But for them also, you need to give clear, concise instructions. Yeah. It has to be clear. Otherwise, they will be asking you again and again, what did you say? What did you say? So the first time, probably do it, and then you need to repeat your instruction, right? So yeah. So a case of repeating so many times before they can actually get it for students, I think. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. So we will move on to the last slide. We'll move on to the next slide. Sorry. Okay. So here you will have a case study that you will have to go through. So the handouts are already with you, right? So the handouts are with you. So what you have to do is go through the case study, and then you will have 30 minutes, and then after which you can actually go off for lunch. All right. So just go through the handout, and then if you have any questions about it,
So the case study, we just need to answer the questions.
yeah, just
And
do
talk
the
about
case
it.
study. Yes, so you can discuss with your team also. So then you have 30 minutes. So after that, you will go off for lunch. So after lunch, we will see you back here at yeah. Hope you all have a good lunch, and see you back here. Okay.